Angela Lee Duckworth's Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance was very interesting to me for a variety of reasons. Duckworth was a management consultant at one point in her career, and then she became a math teacher in New York City. And that's where her ideas of grit really came to be. During her time as a math teacher, Duckworth found that IQ was not the only difference between her worst and her best performing students. Some of her smartest students weren't doing well, and some of her students that found learning challenging were doing very well. She taught math in the seventh grade, and she admitted that some of the concepts were challenging, but none were impossible. She believed that all of her students could learn if they worked long and hard enough on the material. Duckworth believes, after teaching for a few years, she started to believe that we as teachers and leaders and parents of children need a better understanding of students and learning from a motivational and psychological perspective. And that's where her idea of grit was truly shaped. One aspect of the chapter that stuck out to me is found on page 132 under the heading Use of Evidence and Argument to Develop Values. Under this section, it explains that in arguments, we need to show people evidence and not tell them. And that's exactly what Angela Lee Duckworth did later on in her video. She explained that she went to grad school after teaching to become a psychologist, where she would study kids and adults that were put in challenging situations. So she and her team went to West Point and studied with research students there. They also went to the National Spelling Bee and a few other places. But they went to these places to research basically what made people in these places tick and find success ultimately. By using these examples of her teaching and her research in her video, Duckworth is really showing and not telling because of the specifics and because we know that she's been in these situations. Through her studies of being in the classroom with young students and watching students in a variety of aspects, she really believed that grit was the one characteristic that emerged that set people apart from other people. Grit, she explained, was the passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. She found that through her studies that grit would always prevail, and asserted that the grittier kids were the more likely to find success in whatever areas they were in. She truly believes that grit matters in school, especially for young kids or kids that are at risk of dropping out, and also kids that have challenges in learning. Above all, she insists that talent doesn't make you gritty, and really anybody can be gritty and find success. I would rate Duckworth's speech a 9 out of 10. Not only was she very easy to follow along with, but I also agree with her. I believe that she's qualified because she spent so much time in schools as a teacher and a researcher. So she was also very concise, and I like that how she was not afraid to admit if she wasn't sure of something or if it was just her own opinion. But overall, I think she did a very, very nice job.